Today, Governor Green and other state, county, and key stakeholders will announce the development of AO Maluhia and hand over the keys to the first family of residents. This new development will serve as interim housing for Maui wildfire survivors. Our speakers will be available for one-on-one interviews immediately following the key handoff blessing and ceremony at the end of the program. Without further ado, it is my privilege to welcome Governor Josh Green.
Aloha. Aloha. It's a great day of progress. Thank you for coming out. Thank you for being here to support one another. Today we're going to celebrate the Frasers who have been through so much. Can we mahalo you right off the bat for being patient with us? Let's give them a round of applause. They're a beautiful ohana, and what they've been through is what many families have been through since the fire. They've moved from place to place. They've been patient. They've tried to make sure their family stayed together. They've kept their babies healthy, but it's been difficult. It's been difficult. It's difficult to keep it together when you don't have a stable roof over your head. And the commitment that the mayor and I and all these extraordinary partners have to make and made not many months ago is to do all we can to build houses as fast as we can. So today, we're going to celebrate the unprecedented collaboration between Mayor's team, between us at the state, CNHA, where is Kuhio? Kuhio, thank you, brother. Hawaii Community Foundation, FEMA, American Red Cross, everyone came together with resources for one reason and one reason only, to find families like this beautiful family, this local family who needs to have a home. So we thank the council members who are here, the state representatives or state senators who have contributed. We know that we have to build thousands of units. They are going to be places of refuge for people. This particular development, AO Maluhia, is going to be 50 homes. 50 homes for families that have been on the road to recovery, and that road has been long. So thank you again. Thank you for coming and being a part of this. It will be difficult to imagine how much this community has come together and will continue to come together over the years. This is a time we will look back, just like when we came through COVID together, and look back on how hard it was, but how we were stronger as a state. That's what's going to happen after the Lahaina fire as people get homes again. So again, accept our mahalos for your patience. Please find ways to bring family and community back together. And again, Mayor, thank you for your tireless work to make sure that our families are okay. Aloha. Thanks, everyone.
Mahalo, Governor Green. Up next, Maui County Mayor Richard Bisson.
Aloha mai kako. First of all, I'd just like to mahalo the Gov, his administration, and the collaboration and support for this project. I also want to thank the Frasers for allowing all of us to come to your open house. I'm not sure how many of you were invited, but you're all here, and for making this such a public event for yourselves and for all of us, because we're just so grateful and so happy for you to be able to move into this place there, the first of many that will be coming this way. I'd be remiss if I also didn't thank and understand that this is all possible because of the leadership. I want to point out, first of all, Kio Lewis. Now, I know this firsthand with CNHA. I think if he could, he would swing a hammer, he would carry furniture, he would lay tile, he would do whatever it took to make this happen. And that's literally what he's been doing, flying back to Maui from Oahu to oversee this project and to get it as far as it is today by the deadline that was set. And so I just want to say how impressed I am by his commitment, his dedication. And he's not even from Maui, you guys. I mean, you understand that, right? I mean, to do all this work. Also, the support from Hawaii Community Foundation, represented by Lauren Namame today, and Michelle Kauhane. Micah was with us. For those of you who've been with us, hanaho, hanaho, hanaho. This is our third event of the day, and Micah was with us for the beginning, and I know Lauren's going to share remarks. But again, this could not have been done without the governor, without CNHA, and without Hawaii Community Foundation. Of course, the support of FEMA. I see Curtis Brown with us today. Curtis, and of course, American Red Cross. I just want to thank all of those organizations who helped put us together. I should have also mentioned Nick Carroll along with Kuhio, who's also Chief of Staff at CNHA and also responsible for getting this across the finish line. I also want to thank my Office of Recovery and also bringing this project forward. Josiah Nishita, who's always in the back of the room, Keanu Lauhi, who's also here. I want to thank them for the work they put into our Office of Recovery, and mahalo the Council for funding and agreeing with us having that. This also came about with multiple departments, Public Works, Water, Environmental Management, all assisted in the permitting in getting this project. My very special thanks to those members of the Maui County Council who are here and those that are not here today for approving the grant of lease for this project. Again, it would not have been done without that. I'm also appreciative, as Governor has already shared, for all of the housing projects that are coming up throughout Maui, but especially this, since we're here to talk about AO Maluhia as a huge step forward. We remain focused on all the other things we need to do, our debris cleanup, building long-term housing, and of course, we cannot forget the mental health support that we need to assist all of our survivors and those that are recovering from this. We look forward to continuing our collaboration with our state, federal, private partners, and those of our nonprofit community that have assisted us for addressing Maui's examples. Again, this is just another example of the commitment that everyone has made to housing our folks here in Maui, and we continue with that commitment. Omer, I see you there now from American Red Cross. Thank you as well. All right, mahalo everybody. Thank you.
Mahalo, Mayor Bisson. Up next, Senior Vice President of Maui Recovery, Lauren Namame.
Aloha mai kako. Feel so blessed, Michelle and I, to be able to represent our CEO, Mike Akane, our Board of Governors, and also our Maui Strong Fund Special Oversight Committee that were quite so supportive, very easily supportive of this project. We have a heartfelt gratitude and for the time that to the families who've spent so many months just waiting and waiting. We are really want to send a special aloha to the Fraser family. We really look forward to getting to know you better and to see you get your keys and move in next week. We're also very aware that we are just the stewards of the aloha and the resources of our donor, and we're so thankful to them. They're the ones who collectively put their resources together so that something like this could happen. And of course, you know, when this whole interim project was put together, $500 million, 3,000 units, it seemed like a big, hairy, audacious goal. Talking about it was a big deal. Writing about it, signing the paper, all big deals. But really, how do you actually deliver and follow through? So I wanted to really acknowledge Kuhio, our fearless leader at CNHA, and his amazing team, Nick and Keith, and everyone else who I know put it all together. It really started with the Kako'o Maui office when they opened, and just had open arms and hospitality and welcome and care to the community from day one. And they were the first who said, we're going to take the first project in this big, hairy, audacious goal. They're going to go first. They're going to work out all the kinks, and they have really made it real. So we thank you so much for your courageous spirit and just the tenacity. And we know we're in really good hands. And finally, I just want to mahalo again, everyone. We feel so blessed to be a part of this project, and we really look forward to when all the keys are distributed, when all the families are able to move in and able to really move forward with your future. Mahalo nui.
Okay, Kalamai, I said her title and not her organization, though many of you already know, just making sure I say Hawaii Community Foundation, Senior Vice President of Maui Recovery. Kalamai. Up next, CEO of the Council for Native Hawaiian Advancement, Kio Lewis, who will also, before you pa'ipa'i lima, who will also, following his remarks, he and his staff will proceed with the key blessing and ceremony. Mahalo.
Hello, everybody. Thank you all for being here. You know, it was just 3 months ago that we were here making an announcement. And that announcement was that we were going to join forces, do whatever we could to help in the recovery efforts collectively. So we're here. We're back here 3 months later with the first unit of many units to come. And so we're grateful because it's monumental, and we get to lead with that, being that it's the first unit. It's a two-bedroom, one bath. There's going to be 50 of them, as you heard. We're going to be building initially two per week, and then it'll speed up to 4 per week. So we expect this project to wrap up by July. And we're very fortunate because I have an amazing team. I'm fortunate because I have an amazing team. A team that is focused on the why. The why is important. It drives their decisions. It drives their... There is no 9 to 5. There's no hourly schedule at CNHA. It's whenever Kuleana calls. And that's the type of team that I have. And so really, I want to recognize the CNHA staff who work around the clock to do what it takes to deliver. And this is an example of that spirit and that caring of Kuleana. So thank you, CNHA team. I also would be remiss if I didn't recognize it. This is an example of Laulima, right? This is like plenty hands coming together to make something work, because it don't work otherwise. And so the land is Maui County's land. The funding to do this development project came from Hawaii Community Foundation. The governor and the mayor helped fast track all of the things that usually hold everything up, and we just are the ones that love to go. We just go. Never mind all the reasons, let's just make it happen. And so that collaboration allowed the first modular build to appear in 3 months. And so I'm just grateful for this partnership, and I think it'll be carried forward as we move forward together on more and more projects to support our displaced ohana on Maui. The Fraser Ohana. So my team works very collaboratively with FEMA, with Red Cross, with the DHS and Haima to understand what families are in most need. So we have data sharing agreements where we could look closer at how we can make sure we support the people that need it the most first. So we selected the Fraser Ohana. It's mom and dad of 2 babies, 3 and 1. And they've moved many times, many different hotels. Their most recent hotel was the Hyatt, which is where they're staying now. But I wanted to call them up. I wanted to call Josephina up to say a few words. How about a hand for her, everybody?
I just want to say thank you to everybody who was involved with this project. It means a lot to us. It is definitely a blessing for moving 9 times after the fire, and we are just so grateful to be able to call this home. So thank you.
So I would love to let all of you go into the hale to go look around, but it's not fully ready yet, so that can't happen. However, we do want to bless it. So we have Kumuhina and Kumupueo, Koripueo Pata here to help us with that. He'll explain the protocol, the process that will occur, and then after that part, I'll hand it back to Makana and you can answer questions that you have. So at this time, I'd like to welcome to the mic Kumupueo Pata.
Aloha. Thank you, council members, governor, mayor. Yeah, I love Hawaii Community Foundation for many reasons, also for CNHA and all the partners involved. Also very blessed to be able to provide the blessing for this structure today. We were here in the end of February to do the land blessing, and we were sitting right over there, so it's a coincidence that the first hale to pop up is right here as well. To ka ohana Fraser, he ohana olelo Hawaii no ke ia, e mea nui no ke la. They're a Hawaiian language speaking family, so it makes it even more poignant that we're able to perform this type of blessing for them. The name of this project, AO Maluhia, is it harkens to the olelo no eo for this region. Wailuku malui keao, Wailuku sheltered by the clouds. AO Maluhia means the cloud that provides shelter or that is shelter, but also Ao means realm, and so along with meaning cloud. So it means the protected realm, that this is a place of refuge. Then this region that we're in, of course, we are in the moku of Wailuku. This is the Ahupua'a of Wailuku, and we're on the edge of the ili called Kalua. Maluna e o keia pu'u, malaluiho leila, just below this ridge, is Ka'oava o Kakanilua, where the large battle between Kalani'opu'u's forces and Kahekili's forces took place. After that battle, Kalani'opu'u's men, they received permission to take refuge in the moku of Lahaina, in the Ahupua'a of Olowalu. So after the devastation here in Wailuku, they received care in Olowalu, resuscitation, until they were able to get back on their feet and make their journey home. Well, now, after the devastation in the moku of Lahaina, Wailuku is now providing refuge for these families. And so it's a very beautiful thing, in my opinion, very kupuna no ke'ia wahi. You will be the neighbors with the Lave Malie wind, whose real name is I'aiki. Sometimes the moa'e blows and the moa'e ku, and you'll figure out what that means. But this time, we'd like to have the piko removed from the hale so that the family can enter.
Pule kako I kia kua manalo e loko kalani e na mako e kolo nei ko mako po o me kaha I mo. Me kaha I ni ko mako mahalo anui, ko mako aloha anui. Mahalo na koloko mai kai o na lima pau, ili lau lima, ai alulike kui lima, no keia papahana nei. Ka ho moho ala ana, ano keia ke kukuru ana I ka hale mua, no keia wahi. E kapa ia nei, ke AO MALUHIA. E ia no I ke alo, o Wailuku malu I ke ao. Me ka pai ana mai o ka lawe malie, e ia no mako, me keia ohana o Fraser. O makaukau no keia ka naue ana kui mua. Mahalo anui, no ke ena o ke kia aina, ke ena o ka mea o ke kula na kauhale, no keia aina o maui nei. Mahalo anui Hawaii Community Foundation. Mahalo anui FEMA me Red Cross. Mahalo anui no na lima pauloa I helu ia a I helu ole ia. No ka lau lima ana, me ka alu like ana I keia papahana nei. No ka pono, me ka maluhia, o na ohana. I piliki ai, I ke ahi vela, ma ka aina o Lahaina. Eia no mako e haawi nei ko mako mahalo, ko mako waloha. Mihi no ke kahi, hui kalamai no na lawe ala ana pau. Olu olu e ho mai kai I ke iwahi. Ho mai kai I ke hale no ka pono o ka ohana e noho mai nei a I makaukau no ke koena aina nei no ke kukulu ana I ke koena hale no ka pono na ohane kipa mai. Eia no mako e haipule nei ia mau mea I keia holo o keia awina la. Maloko kai no ka makua me ke keiki me ka uhane he molele. Amen. Mahalo.
Before I pass it back to Makana, inside the hale, there's so much things that have been donated, from appliances to, beddings to a crib to food to the house is fully stacked for the family, and so there's a lot of people, a lot of hands that went into making that possible, and I want to thank all of them. And the list is too long to list them all. But this is the power of community coming together, and I'm grateful for that. I do want to recognize Kauhale Development, PB Sullivan, Keith Fernandez, who have been instrumental in, you should have seen the other day what this looked like. Funny story, the mayor tries to drive by in stealth mode, and there wasn't even walls on the house. When was this, Mayor? Sunday. He came Sunday, today Tuesday. So they didn't even have the walls yet. And so he got caught though. But this is again, like heaven and earth being moved to help community in this moment. And so I want to thank all of those that played an instrumental part, working around the clock at times to make this happen. Mahalo nui for being here. Mahalo to the Maui County Council for their aloha, their support, and for all of the various community partners that stand by us through all this kuleana that we carry. Mahalo.
Mahalo Kuhio. I'm going to invite all of the speakers to come near me because you guys know the drill. We'll proceed with media Q&A, and Chelsea always gets, I'll go to you, Wendy, next. Go for it.
I don't know who this question is for, but
Great.
I just want to know how long will the family be here, and then what's going to happen to
So the question is, how long will the family reside in these units, and then what's going to happen next phase for the land thereafter?
So CNHA has received a 5-year grant of lease from the County of Maui. So we will have these units here for survivors for up to 5 years. And of course, I'm sure if we needed longer, the county wouldn't object. But it's a 5-year term.
It's also important to note that if there's any need for resources as people continue to find their way back into their jobs and their lives, there's a series of ways people can get resources. Salvation Army, Red Cross, the TANF funds from the state, and so on. So we want to remind people that as they move in and transition, there's we set aside $100 million to provide for the ability to get extra furniture or extra transportation, help with rent, and so on. The goal is to make it easier on people as they renew their lives.
So one of the groups I want us to mahalo is the Homeowners Association for this area, because they allowed us this special exemption. When Kuhio was talking about all the different sort of rules we had to work through and work with, one of them was ordinarily these units would not be allowed under the HOA for this area, but they allowed us an exemption to have 2 of these on each of the lots. What you're looking at, the original 17 lots would have had 1 resident on each lot, 1 dwelling, with no ADU. But they allowed us to do this, so we really have to mahalo them. They're allowing us 5 years. I think it's maybe a little too soon to decide if it's going to extend beyond that, because we're hoping it doesn't take us that long to repopulate Lahaina and get our folks back there.
Good. Okay, Wendy. The question is an update on transitional housing, particularly those remaining still in hotels.
So, thank you. So, as of today, we peaked at, in the beginning, 3,017 households, and it was 8,000 people. And we've been able to get 76.5% of the people that were in hotels into long-term rentals or transitional housing. So we're about 3/4 of the way there, and you're going to start seeing an acceleration of the last families that need to get into stable long-term housing, because soon there will be 50 houses here. As you saw earlier today, we're in the process of building 450 transitional houses over just Malka and Lahaina, and there's going to be 175 units at the Hagai, which is a little bit more simple dormitory and kind of efficiencies. So that gives us the ability to help a lot of people, and we hope by July 1st that there's simply no one that needs to be in a hotel unless they have a significant need or there's some reason that they choose. So we've come a very long way. It's never enough. It's never fast enough. And one of the reasons I think it was so extraordinary to see the Fraser family is because they tell the story of what happened to many people, which was there were options, but in recoveries like this after a disaster, there's just so many challenges, and they moved many times, I think 9 times, and they were so strong to get through that. That's why we're excited in the next couple days when they get to start sleeping in the same bedroom for good, and we won't have to ask them to move again, hopefully. So that's the goal. And then root us on to build long-term housing across the county so that we can really get everyone housing that's a local family.
I just wanted to add for Governor, because I just got the update. So there's 712 households still in hotels. So that number has come way down from when it initially in August, which was 8,000, Governor. So that, and so about 100 per week have been, the numbers have been going down. So and with more projects like this coming online, it'll expedite those numbers coming down.
Mahalo akaku.
With all of these transitional homes coming online, what can the community do to donate items? Where can you find out what people need and how to get it?
So the question is around how can others kokua?
That's a great question. So CNHA is also managing the county's long-term storage facility. So if you want to donate, just reach out to our Kako Maui Resource Center. We will take the furniture from you. We're looking for, newer furniture. So if you have, give us a call. We'll coordinate with you. We get plenty clothes though. No, I don't think we need too much clothes. But furniture is needed, especially as more of these units start coming online.
I'm gonna take it over there. Cami, I see you. Max? Do you have a twofer? You can give both. Hit us with both. Go for it. We're all scorching. You sure? Just that? Okay. You sure? Okay. So the question just is around, is CNHA going to manage the land and the units?
Thank you for the question. We will oversee it, but we actually hired a Maui-based company to help manage that. That's important for us, is that we empower Maui to be part of their solution. So it's Ohana Realty is going to be the managing agent over this site.
I feel like Max may have a follow-up question, so I'll come back to him, but I'll go to Cami first.
For the mayor, which homeowner association are we in? And how many acres, about how many parcels?
Okay. Details on what homeowner association we're in, how many acres, parcels, etc.
So we're in Maui-Lani, and this was all part of a settlement made with the county. So originally there were 34 lots. The county actually allowed, I want to say half of those, maybe 16 or 17 of those, to be given to, was it Stand Up Maui? Okay, there was a housing project that was working on that. The other 17 are the ones that we're using first, but we're trying to utilize those others because they didn't have, they have long-term plans for them. So we want to use them in the short term. So right now we're talking about 34 or so lots. The hospital is doing a project for some of their staff and employees, doctors housing, nursing housing, and that's part of the Friends of the Medical Center group, Tamara Goodfellow and her folks. So that's also part of this area. And I want to say, Josiah, you remember how many lots those are? Is that like 60? Another 17 lots that are separate for that. So those are the total number of lots in this area.
Max, final call.
Just to clarify, are people applying for these homes or are they being selected?
Question is around, is this an application process or a selection process? Details around how to get a unit.
Thank you for that. This initial family we selected based on the priority, and that was a talking point that I skipped over. But actually, we are accepting applications. If you go to helpingmaui.org, families can sign up for one of these units right now. Yeah, so it's open. There's an application open. We have the ability in the back end to look at what records we have, and we'll reach out to the family. So this is available to those that are displaced. Yeah, I just gonna plug this because I forgot. But I also there's another person that was very instrumental in helping, and that's Steel Genix, part of the development team here. I forgot to recognize them, and so because of that, I just threw that out there. Thank you, Jonathan and team, for your support as well.
Going back to Chelsea.
Clarification of the lots, so 34 lots, and is it 2 units on each lot, so a total of?
Clarification on lots, number of units, etc.
Yeah, so there's a total of how many total, Nick? 17 first phase, and then the second phase. So there's a total of 27 lots here that we're going to be developing on. 2 of the lots we're not touching because there's no archaeological study that's yet been done on those. But each lot will have 2 to 3. I think there's some parcels that actually have 3 on them. I'm not sure, but most of them will have at least 2. So it's 2 per lot, minimum.
Okay. Yes. Go ahead. Yeah.
Just remember, of the remaining 700 families, we're making sure that those who, for some reason or another, haven't qualified for FEMA assistance or other assistance, we want to try to help them get into a long-term stable situation. So today you're essentially seeing a combo here in Maui, because of the hard work of the mayor and others, about 500 homes that are getting teed up. And when you add the houses that will come from FEMA too, that should enable us to get all the remaining families into a stable place. Others will still want to get back closer to home, closer to West Maui. In some cases, we're just going to be very fluid to help people as they get their lives exactly where they want them to be. The recovery is going to take a long time. The school went in, the clinic was opened last month, and we blessed that today. But you can see how much progress the mayor and CNHA and Hawaii Community Foundation have made. So it's really something special. So thank you, Mayor.
And before we close, we just want to remind FEMA that more houses are needed, But, the 160 is not enough. So we encourage you to build more. Anyway, mahalo everybody for coming.
Okay, I think that formally concludes today's. First, I was going to take more, but that's okay. Kuhi already cut it. So, and for those of you that have been with us before we formally close, on this day of progress, this long day of progress, many of you have been with us throughout the day. I also wanted to highlight, as was already introduced, Kumu Pueo Pata, because as you recall, for those of you that were at Kala'iola, he was the individual who gave that name or that inoa. So mahalo again to him for that, Pa'ipa'i Lima. And again, mahalo to all of you for being with us on this day of progress, and mahalo, aloha.